Well, the Love Doctor is in the house. Dr. Joyce, great to have you with us on Get Connected. It's all over the news. They've settled the record time for Hollywood.
Really?
Well, Tom and Katie divorced.
1 week.
Official.
I mean, officially in 1 week, yes.
What do we learn from what happened?
Well, it's according to who we are as to what we will learn from what happens, that you really can make some things happen overnight if you have money, for one thing. But number one is to see that possibly they should not have been married from the onset. What was the reason they got married? That they didn't agree with a lot of things. And then there was the other thing, how Katie left and she had it all planned out. How much did Tom really know what was going on? Was he really paying attention, or was he too busy that he did not see what was taking place? Because she was able to jet off to New York, take care of everything, and he was stunned by it. A divorce, just like a marriage, should never be a surprise.
Interesting. What did you, looking back, when you saw him jumping on the couch? I know a lot of people looked at him negatively. I'm like, this dude is in love.
He was in love, yes. He was excited. He was in love. And at the same time, you have to look at my understanding that she was vetted before they got married. They went through all this. You cannot go out there and look at a mate as being something that you pick off a shelf out of the store. You've got to see more. You've got to see them as being more human. And you also have to see them as not being your prized possession, but you all coming together. That is not a competition, but it's a coalition. We're coming together and we're working with each other.
Talk to us, bottom line, you've counseled hundreds of people through divorce, some that have kind of made it out and are together happily, others that went through with it. But where does religion play, and how important is it to address early? And how do you suggest they deal with it?
Religion is very important. I most certainly believe that from the onset. It needs to be talked about. If you have two people coming together, and I have dealt with couples who have two different religions, how are you going to handle that? Especially when you have children. Are we going to actually promote both? Am I going to go to your church, your synagogue, or wherever you go, your temple? Are you going to come to mine? So it's a matter of talking about it, having understanding about it, and if one is not willing to give up his or her religion, that needs to be understood. I'm going to keep mine, you keep yours, or we're going to share. But I think it has to be a compromise, because it's difficult, because when you have a religion, there are usually different ways that you do things. There are ways that you will actually promote that religion is served. And so you have to begin to understand, how are we going to serve this religion? How are we going to do this? Will it get in the way of us being able to be a couple? What's going to happen when we have a child? Is that child going to be drug into this and torn apart for one or the other? Am I willing to give up mine? Are you willing to give up yours?
Tom Cruise married twice. What should that have alerted to Kate?
Well, that there was something going on, you know, that she might go into the same situation. I believe most certainly religion, because my understanding of the tough aspects of that religion, of what the expectations are. Scientology, that many people feel that, you know what, I'm not going to be bought into a contract for life. I'm not going to be bought here. But you have to know that. I think people get caught up with the glamour and the glitz. They get caught up with all the fortune, the fame, and the money, that they forget about under it all, there's a human being. And so in looking at that human being, understanding who that master is that person serves, are you willing to serve that same? Do you believe the same beliefs? Are you in the same book, in the same chapter? And they were never really totally on the same page.
Is there anything that could have saved that marriage?
I believe it was very difficult, especially when I believe Katie married into a more than just Tom's family. She married into a religion. She married into a church instead of just being married to Tom.
How interesting. Thank you for the tough love and the insight on the topic that we're all talking about.